Today we're sitting down with Vahe Bagdasaryan, a man who has run over 10,000 paywall experiments and helped apps add over $50 million in revenue. He's been behind the scenes on dozens of apps, including Cal AI, Quitter, and Claim, and he knows all the common mistakes founders usually make with paywalls. But the biggest mistake that keeps most apps' revenue stuck comes from a common but surprising oversight. You see, his superpower is to look at an app that seems healthy and then tell you exactly how much money they're leaving on the table.
There are many examples of apps that are operating with like 80-11% trust rate and they're healthy, but then they're missing out a lot of stuff. That 80-11% easy. In like 90% cases, if you have 80-11%, it can easily become like a
That number he was about to say is the difference between a good app and a great one. Vahe's entire business is built on the idea that you can increase your revenue by $100,000 in a few months without spending a single extra dollar on user acquisition. He's challenging what most people know about building a profitable app. At the end of the day, your goal shouldn't be just to get more users. We all love viral growth hacks, but you also need to fix the leaks in your existing system, and he has some examples that kind of surprised me.
We started to work together in April. They had like a 1.1% install to paid rate. So basically from April to September, we got it from 1.1% to close to 4%.
In this episode, Vahe breaks down his entire playbook for turning a leaky paywall into a predictable revenue machine. We go deep into the mechanics of multi-step paywalls, highest leverage placements, and advanced tactics that can squeeze max value from the app that you've already built. And he reveals the exact psychological tricks he uses to maximize conversions on a single screen.
To maximize the impact of your transaction abandonment paywall, offer a free trial, but let users to decide if they want to buy without free trial or without a free trial. If they buy with a free trial, make the price more expensive. If they buy without a trial, make it a bit cheaper. For example, if they were to buy with a trial, make the discount offer like 80%. And if they were to buy without a trial, make the offer 90%.
If you're an app founder focused on growth, this is the episode that will change how you think about monetization forever. This is the Superwall podcast, and I'm Joseph Choi, founder of Consumer Club. The members in the Consumer Club Discord and the founders I interview on the pod build apps at a median of about $1 million ARR. In my conversations with dozens of these founders every week, one thing I've noticed is most of them A/B test their paywalls to increase their conversion rates and make more money. Now, most people know that one of the best ways to A/B test paywalls is Superwall. But one thing you might not know is Superwall has a lot of data on the thousands of apps that use their paywalls. So recently they actually put together a tool that takes 422 profitable paywall experiments and put those into a paywall experiment generator where you can upload a screenshot of your own paywall and it'll give you an experiment idea to increase your revenue. You can use it for free at paywallexperiments.com. All right, let's get into the pod. People are interested in growth strategies on this channel, and we talk about a lot of growth hacks and viral TikToks and stuff. But behind a lot of these viral TikToks is the paywall. And like a lot of, big app founders have said that 80% of the effort that you put into building your app should go to onboarding and paywall, because that's where the revenue actually comes from. Yeah. And you've designed the paywalls for a lot of these big apps. Can you zoom out and kind of show us at a high level before we go into each one? What are some of the apps that you've designed paywalls for?
We work with very big apps and companies like Resume, Cal AI, Claim, Riz, Superwall, Quitter, and many, many more. And for today, I just decided to take some of the best practices and the best paywalls we ever created for some of these apps and then show you and explain why these paywalls are the best converting paywalls and what was the thought process and the strategy behind all of these paywalls that we designed for these apps.
I'm curious, what's one thing most app founders today you're seeing are getting wrong with their paywalls?
Well, I think the biggest thing that I'm noticing is that kind of take one concept I see their competitors are using, not even competitors, but other apps are using, and they copy the paywall and it doesn't work for them. Or it works but to a certain point, and then they don't try to improve it. Like I speak with a lot of founders, they're like, oh, my friend has this paywall, it crushes it. We copy the paywall that their friend have, test it, and it fails. It like happens like many, many times every week.
What's a good benchmark these days for good paywall conversion rates? And I know there's a few different types of conversion rates that are kind of in the paywall space.
I think it really depends on the industry, etc., etc. But like, if we talk about trial start rate, I think everything above 15% is good. If you have below 15% trial start rate, you have a lot of work to do. Trial to paid conversion rate, everything above like a 30% is good. If it's below 30%, again, you have a lot of work to do. That being said, there are many examples of apps that are operating with like 80-11% trial start rate and they're healthy, but then they're missing out a lot of stuff. That 80-11% easy. In like 90% cases, if you have 80-11%, it can easily become like a 15%.
Those two metrics are both for free trials model. So do you also have any benchmarks for non-trial apps?
Ideally, if you have a lot of users coming from the US, if you have like a 10% and above install to paid rate, that's really good. If you have anything less than 4%, that's not good. There is a lot of work we can do. Like between like 4 to 10% is kind of, you are not terrible, but you're not great, right? You know, and if it's like less than 4%, then you have problem most probably. We gotta work to improve that.
You've seen a lot of apps increase revenue 100K in 3 months without getting any new users, like just paywall experiments, which a lot of people is counterintuitive. Like most people think about growth as I need to do better ads or I need to do more organic TikToks, go viral. But if you just fix the conversion rate on your paywalls, then that's also revenue growth. So I'm curious, like what's the best before and after you've seen in terms of fixing up paywalls and increasing revenue?
We work with this app. It's an in entertainment category. They have not steady, but like the very stable user growth. They're adding like probably like a 40,000-50,000 installs per month. That's like organically, that's the kind of their average. We started to work together in April. They had like a 1.1% install to paid rate. We got it up to 4% in September. So basically from April to September, we got it from 1.1% to close to 4%. And they didn't get new users coming. They didn't invest any paid UA. They were having the same kind of stable users growth where we're adding like a 40,000-ish users per month.
And 4% is kind of like the bare minimum that you want for...
Yeah, you want to have at least 4%. I mean, maybe a lot of people would say it's fine if it's less or 4 is not much, etc. But like I believe like if you have 4 and above, you're fine. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
What are the variables that go into better conversion rates on paywalls?
If the app offers free trial, there's like 2 things that you can do here. First, you optimize your onboarding paywall, where you get like probably most of your conversions. And then you think about, okay, what other placements we can add in the app where we can make the paywall available for the users and convince them to take a trial or convince them that the product is worth it. And we have like several placements there. It can be on transaction abandonment, like we talked about it a lot. Like everybody talks about transaction abandonment, but people just they put one paywall discount on transaction abandonment and say, oh, this is it. But like we do tons of experiments on transaction abandonment, right? And try to kind of find what is the best paywall for it and what offer should be there. Another placement is a paywall on a session start, the paywall on after doing like certain actions in the app. If your app have something to do, users kind of consuming something, for example, you have a coin identifier app, you scan coins and you see what is the value of it, etc. You can present paywall after each scan or after each certain number of scans, etc. You can come up with extra offers, like somebody takes a trial, cancel trial, they see an offer, somebody cancels subscription, they see another offer. And here it's not just about adding the placements. Adding placement is just bare minimum. Like when we take a new customer and we audit and say, hey, you're missing all of these very important placements, we firstly go and add the placements, which is the bare minimum. And then we start implementing more and more stuff to kind of improve conversion rate. And then we do the experimentation. Because most of kind of the apps that come to us, they lack a lot of like fundamental stuff that is concerned to placements. We add those and then we start the experimentation process.
Let's start with Claim.
We did a lot of work on optimizing their paywalls and coming up with a new paywall strategies to just try to maximize the revenue. I just tried to put a few of the paywalls that we did for them that were the most effective and just go through and explaining like what worked the best for these paywalls and why they were the best ones. The first one was in the days, initially when a claim was started, they were a free trial, then we removed it, but initially they were a free trial. And we had this paywall. It is a standard multi-page paywall. You probably saw it like in many places, but there's like a lot of tiny details that we got it right about this multi-step paywall, that it works them more effective than in any other kind of a multi-step paywall. Not mostly like here where you see, oh, we want you to try claim for free, and we show visually all of the potential settlements that you could, possible like lawsuit you could claim a settlement from, and to say, oh, we'll send you a notification when your trial is about to end. But the real deal is here on a main screen, the way you present your offer. Obviously, we have your timeline. This is the most common ways. But then there are like two very important things here that it works very, very well. Firstly, when apps offer a free trial, they don't talk about it a lot in a paywall. You see apps offering free trial, and only in a button in the CTA they say start free trial. Only on headline they say start your free trial. And believe me, just mentioning your product has a free trial 1 or 2 times is not enough. You should get into users' head that this product is free. You don't have anything to lose if you just take it right now. And the way you do it, you just mention it as many times as you can, or just emphasize that it's like very risk-free, there's nothing to lose, we'll remind you, etc., etc. Like in this example specifically, on the first screen, we say, okay, try it for free. We are giving it out for free. In the second screen, we say, we're gonna send you a reminder before your trial ends, right? There's like, if you forget about it, we'll remind you. And again, the button says, try for $0. Here, we again mention, we will send you a reminder when your trial ends. We just talk about the same thing. And we have the paywall here, the timeline here that we show to users and explain how their free trial works. Here again, we have a free trial as a badge on a payment card. Another thing we did here, this is an annual plan, right? This is a yearly plan. We didn't call it a yearly plan. We say, try it free. And then here we show you actually how you're billed, like $59.99 per year, and it's only $1 per week, something like this. But we don't tell you it's an annual plan. We say we explain you this is an annual, but we don't call it an annual plan. We say you could try it free because it's free. And on a CTA again, we say try for free. It's just a matter of, okay, let's convince users, and we explain very, very simple and detailed that they have nothing to lose here if they just take the free trial. And you probably saw we mentioned free trial probably 5-7 times throughout all of these 3 screens. And this is kind of what you should do if you have an app that offers a free trial. Just mentioning it once or 2 times in your paywall is not enough. Users don't get it.
I've also seen that people put the length of the trial where you have that rectangle, but in this paywall, it doesn't even say how long the trial is. It just says it above in the 3-step process thing.
Yes.
And it says it's a 3-day free trial.
Yes.
But in the actual product selection menu, it just says try it free, $59.99 a year, right? So you're not even saying really how long the trial is. I think there's something interesting about that psychology, because I feel like some people, when they see how long the free trial is, the immediate thought in their mind is, okay, I gotta remember to cancel it in 3 days, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's a very, very valid and important point. Yes. If you just mention, oh, it's 3-day free trial, 7-day free trial, a lot of people might think, oh, it's too short. What if I forget to cancel? What if it's not enough for me to experience the product? I'm busy or something like this. Just removing the time constraint from here and be like, don't worry about the time. Just focus on the fact that this is free.
So it's very obvious that it's going to start, but you're just kind of removing that language. I think the language is what people are afraid of. They're not really scared that, they're going to forget. I mean, they are scared they're going to forget it, but instead you're just outlining this process of what exactly will happen, which is today you're going to start it. In 2 days, we'll send you a reminder so that you don't forget to cancel if you want to cancel. And then in 3 days, it'll start.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Interesting. What's the % increase in the conversion rate when you do this style of paywall versus just immediately doing one screen paywall where it just says start the free trial now?
Easy from 20 to even 40% uplift. Like I see many cases happen like 40%, but the average is going to go between 20 to 40% uplift.
If we think about the trial start conversion rates, you said like a good conversion rate was 15%. So if someone has like a 10% conversion rate, then they might be able to get up to that 15% by implementing like a 3-step paywall like this.
And again, it's not only about the 3-step paywall and how many steps you have. It's also about the nailing the right way of doing this. And like you can go to an app store, download a lot of apps. You'll see some of them offers and they have the multi-step paywalls like we have here right now. But they don't do it right. They might see some sort of uplift or might not see. But the actual uplift you see when you do it right. And this is kind of an example of how you do it right when you have a free trial product.
Okay, you said you could share data for this app, right? So what was the data that you wanted to share?
Yeah, we had like a 34% trial start rate.
34% trial start rate for the Claim app. That's really good. That's like more than double the benchmark. Did you do any experiments with that where you were able to see 34% versus some other percent for a different designed paywall?
We moved from free trial to paid app only after doing this test. We removed the free trial. It says, okay, we're gonna be completely paid, and then we started to do experiments around the paid.
Interesting. So it was already 34% trial start, which is really good, but then you just removed the trial altogether.
Yes.
Yeah, why did you remove it?
Because we started to get like a more revenue without having a trial. We see there is a strong trial to paid conversion rate. What if we just get rid of the trial and try to optimize everything for the purchase?
What was the trial to paid for that?
Yeah, 55%.
Yeah, so you moved from a free trial model to just a no trial model and having people pay immediately. What was what do you look for in an app to make that decision? Is it if you have a really good trial start rate, you should consider removing the trial completely because it just shows high intent, or are there other things that you look for?
There are a few things. You need to have a lot of volume of users coming in. This is like a prerequisite. Like if you don't have a high volume coming in, you will not be able to make a lot of money if you remove your free trial. You should have strong trial start rate, but you also need to have very strong trial to paid conversion rate. So everything kind of should be perfect on this, like around these 3 metrics. And you could consider, what if we just remove free trial and see how we can work without a free trial and be a paid only app. Usually you also need to solve very specific problem, very pressing thing. Users should be very motivated about it. Like Claim app, there's a chance you could claim settlement and make money, even if you pay the annual subscription. If you are eligible for several settlements and you get paid, the app is free because you get a lot of money that you're entitled to.
Cool. Show us Cal AI.
So we have a few things here very interesting. I want to talk about another thing, which is the discount offers again, the discount offers you can present as an additional placement. And it can be also on transaction abandonment. It can be on opening the app the second time. It can be when you start a free trial, you cancel the free trial, and next time you open the app, you see a discount. But the way the most apps they do it is just show some paywall to users that say, hey, this is 80% off, and you just go with it. Or this is like a 60% off. You immediately just discount. So we A/B tested how to present the discount offer the best to users. And based on the testing, some of the best ways to do it is to have the spin wheel logic. And the way it works is you open the app, we show you the spin wheel, and there's an animation here. It spins, and it's gonna stop on a discount percentage. And then when you stop on a discount percentage, it says, hey, you got 80% off, tap to get it. You click on this button, and this continue button, and the next page is going to be your discount. The idea of this is, let's try to add some sort of excitement before wanting money from users. And second, making it you did something and you won it, you earned it, now you should claim it.
That's really interesting. Yeah, this reminds me of the pop-ups on the desktop websites as well, where you go to an e-commerce website and then it's a spin the wheel to get your discount. It's kind of using, I feel like a lot of app founders don't really use a lot of these tactics that you can just take from other industries.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah,
these things just
definitely.
exist all over the place, right?
Dropshipping, e-commerce, just like nailed a lot of kind of how to present discount the best way, how to do the win back, how to encourage users to buy more. There is a lot of stuff we can kind of copy or learn from e-commerce. And that's what I do too. Like when we come, well, what's the next thing we're gonna test? How to optimize this? Like in many times, I go to Temu or Shane or something, like what they're trying to do, how they're convincing users to buy more. And you
Temu's
see
a
a lot
great
of
source,
Oh yeah.
of conversion
Yeah.
tactics. That app is full, full of
Yeah, that's
on
yeah,
every.
yeah. And you see something, okay, you take it, okay, how can I repurpose this tactic for my app? I think you get a lot of a great success in doing so.
That's interesting. I guess to go back to one of the first things you said, which was one of the biggest mistakes that people make when doing their paywalls is they just copy a famous paywall one-to-one
Yep.
and they don't make any other changes. One way to make some other changes is look at successful e-commerce apps, like look at Temu, or just look at apps in general and take the pieces of it that you like.
You like something, just don't copy it blindly. I feel like think like, okay, how this might work for me? Because like if you see something cool in a utility app and you are a health and fitness app, if you just copy it, it's not gonna work. Like people's intentions and like the way they perceive the product and its value are so different between health and fitness products and like a utility products.
What was the conversion rate increase for this A/B test when you do the spin versus just giving them the discount outright?
Yeah, I can't mention the exact percentage, but we got like a double-digit increase.
Cool, nice. You want to go to Riz app?
Here we kind of combined a multi-step paywall compared to something that we discussed earlier, which is the trial toggle, when you change your product or discount or price based on condition if user wants to buy with a free trial or not. So here we have our multi-step paywall. The first screen again says we want you to try Riz for free, just emphasizing the product is free and has a free trial. And the second screen, we try to remove the trial anxiety and we say, oh, you will get a reminder 2 days before your trial ends. Again, trying to work on the trial anxiety. And here we present them the offer. We have some sort of like a visual that explains how the app works. We have some text here showing explaining about a product, the features, the values, etc. But the most important part is here. By default, the free trial is enabled. Users buy with a free trial. We have here, say, 7-day free trial, $9.99 per week. And users can by default go with it. But what they also can do is turn off the free trial. It says skip free trial. And the price becomes $6.99 per week. They get like $3 off per week by just buying it immediately. You are encouraging more direct purchases. Like you're trying to capture more demand because everyone is different, you know, like you cannot just think about it like everybody is gonna be able to pay the same price or gonna be interested in the same offer. People are different and there's a lot of stuff that influence their like buying decisions or buying power. So you need to kind of be a bit creative on your paywalls on, okay, how can I do this in the best way to capture as much demand as possible? And this is like one of the examples of how you do it. You just do two things smart here. The first, you make it feel like the user is in decision of how they want to buy. And you encourage them to buy without trial if they go with $6.99. Like if you are not able to afford or you don't want to afford at $10, we have like a $7 option too. But the difference with it's not gonna come with a trial. You're gonna just like straight away purchase it.
And the math actually works out perfectly here because you said that a good trial to paid conversion rate is 30%, and here you basically discount 30%.
$3. Yeah.
So you're basically just getting the same amount of revenue per user. You're just changing the way that they choose their pricing. So can you go to the Cal AI transaction abandonment paywall? Because this one is interesting where you do the same thing as you did with Riz, where you toggle the free trial. You can choose whether to get the free trial or not. But for this one, there's no discount for the free trial. It's just the same exact pricing. So when do you decide to do a toggle that doesn't give you a discount versus a toggle that does give you a discount?
You gotta test this both and see which one works the best for you. So it's gonna depend on your audience, what kind of users you're attracting to, and depends the user intent, etc., etc. Like Cal AI it's more a high intent app. Users, they wanna kind of lose the weight. They're more kind of convinced that they need a product and they want it because many reasons. Usually most of the health and fitness products are like this. The users, when they come, they have a strong intent to buy. But for like utility type of apps, usually user intent is not super high, and you need to further incentivize them to make a purchase or to take a discount.
So Riz app is like you get dating app matches and then it uses AI to give you lines for what to say to your match. You'd say that's not as high intent as like losing weight or...
Yes, usually like the health and it comes from the industry too. Like the health and fitness, it has a strong kind of intent of user. They want to purchase. But another different is not just the intent, but also what kind of user demographics you're kind of getting to. Like for the Riz app, if you're getting more young people, like less than 18, where the like a purchasing power is not super great, you might kind of find more like in kind of discounting based on the trial.
Right. Or that makes sense. But for Cal AI, like people of all ages want to go to the gym, get fit. So versus Riz app, there's like younger people usually using dating apps.
My general advice is you test both, see which one works for you the best. Like there's like two best practices. Test, see which one works for you the best.
Nice. We have Quitter.
This is a multi-step paywall for Quitter. No free trial, just purchase. We have like 3-page paywall before hitting the prices, and the way it works, we have visual on the first screen that shows the app, how it works, some sort of like what they can expect after the paywall. And says to break the cycle today, just kind of encouraging users. And we show in the second page, we show them more visuals and more stuff from the app, what they can see. Or they might see some podcast, leaderboard, articles, some briefing exercise, just give users more clue about what they can expect from the app. And here, this is the last page of the paywall. We put some reviews, top apps, some real App Store reviews, but we don't present any prices here. When users click on Start My Journey Today, that's when we show them prices. And we have annual and monthly options. We have some conversion optimization tactic here. It says 60% off sale and limited spots remaining. This again, think about where you see something like this in e-commerce.
Yeah, e-commerce, yeah.
Yeah, this is another tactic borrowed from e-commerce. And then this 60% off is again calculated against the monthly product, how much you're gonna win or save if you go with annual instead of monthly. And you have and to further incentivize people, you have this like limited, this might change, and this might change actually. Like you might offer like increase the prices or offer them this different offer, etc. Like many ways you can do it. Like so kind of encourages users to kind of more like nudges users towards making a purchase. And we have a price anchoring here, both presented as monthly. Like annual is only $333 per month, monthly is only like $12.99 per month. But here, of course, we have the full prices. And when users, so we show the price anchoring here and then the full price here when user kind of selects a product. And then when they click on Start My Journey Today, we trigger kind of the purchase. I think the biggest thing that works for this paywall is not presenting any prices, any payment options on the main paywall, and make user to click Start My Journey Today to see them. And again, like and this kind of has kind of more reasons. One of them is just get user to spend more time on this paywall, on this page before, like, because when you hit here, you expect, where are the prices or where are my options to choose from? and then you only see them when you click on start my journey from. And then what other thing you can do, you just like close this, you're still on this paywall, you can look at the reviews and open it up again. And when you open this, there's no other distracting things for you. Like the half of the screen is covered. Now you need to make the choice. Everything is clear. It's annual, monthly. This is the discount off you get. 9 spots available. You want to buy or you don't want to buy. Because like sometimes when you have like a too crowded offer, too crowded paywall, you have the reviews, it's long form, you have the timeline, and below you have the prices. It's kind of hard to focus where to focus. Like, okay, there's the prices, but there's this thing here, there's this thing here. Here we're kind of trying to split it, so you perceive all the parts of it like differently. You consume the social proof part of things, and then you click on start my journey today to see the prices and everything.
One random thing that I've noticed right here is 333 is a very weird number. Like a lot of people do either flat pricing, like, you know, $5 a month, or they do like 99 pricing, you know, $4.99 or 95 or whatever, 97. But 333, like, what's the reason for? Is there some weird like consumer pricing psychology that goes into this 333?
Not really, to be honest. There is like some sort of stuff that like people are, you know, the 0.99 prices. Everybody knows that it's like tricky, but like it's useful. I guarantee in most of the cases, if your product says $15 and if you A/B test it against like $14.99, the $14.99 might result in higher conversion. But what happens is like people have some sort of consumer develop some sort of defensibility, and they know, oh, they want to kind of trick me for you make the product like a $14.99, and if it's a random number, it just feels more authentic.
It does feel more authentic. It's like a real number versus $14.99. Yeah. It's like it's not even a real number. That's just like a price that shows up on commercials and ads. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. That's the whole point.
And I like 333 as well because it feels like, obviously, like the first number is what you see. So it's 3. So it feels like $3. But it's actually $3.33. When you multiply that by 12, it's like $39.96 a year.
Yeah.
So it's actually a pretty good annual price. Like you're getting $40 a year per user, but 3.33 per month, it feels like $3, right? Like if you made it $3 per month and you made it $2.99 per month, then that would be 3 times 12 is 36. You get $36. Yeah. But then you're padding it just a little bit with like $4 extra on the annual, which actually makes a big difference, especially if you're doing paid acquisition. Like that $4 gives you a buffer to spend $4 more on every ad. I think you had another paywall that you wanted to show that's not quite in the meta yet. That's like a little bit interesting. Can we look at that one?
I think we discussed this in a claim paywall case when you present your payment option not as an annual plan or monthly plan, but if it has a free trial, just call it free. And then here you mention the price. Just again, the same way, the idea here is to make sure user knows this is free. And it's good to explain users and frame it as much as possible around the idea of it being free to make it feel like very effortless to take the free trial.
On almost all the other paywalls that you showed, they showed the weekly or the monthly or the annual price, and it said free trial, but it says the price on it. For this one, you don't even show the price on the product card. So that's like the main difference, you would say, for this one.
Yes.
So can you show what is transaction abandonment and how do you optimize that?
Here you see this paywall on the left side, which is your main paywall. We have 2 options, like yearly and monthly. Transaction abandonment happens when user clicks on the discontinue button to try to buy the product, then they cancel out the transaction confirmation dialog and they don't buy it. What you do immediately after that, you hit them with another offer, which you can see on the right side. This is a discounted offer. This discounted offer, you usually should only have like annual. You should discount only an annual product. Don't discount weekly, don't discount monthly. It doesn't work. We tested like dozens of times. It doesn't work. Have annual discounted. So to maximize the impact of your transaction abandonment paywall, offer a free trial, but let users to decide if they want to buy without free trial or without a free trial. If they buy with a free trial, make the price more expensive. if they buy without a trial, make it a bit cheaper. For example, if they were to buy with a trial, make the discount offer like 80%. And if they were to buy without a trial, make the offer 90%. Just to incentivize some users to go without trial and get direct purchases. From my experience, like around 10% of users, they will choose to buy without a trial. And they will get some direct purchases there. Another option to maximize the impact of the transaction abandonment paywalls, that we don't have it here, but it would be to add another product below yearly plan, which is monthly or weekly, and you don't discount it, never discount it. Just to have it there as a secondary or third option for users who don't want to go with any of these discounted annual choices. Just leave it there. Very tiny percentage of users might choose to go there, but that would also influence on their decision to buy annual, because when they compare the price of the monthly or weekly to this annual price, they'll see, oh, annual is a great deal, let's go with annual. And that might influence your decision to buy the discounted product.
Interesting. So on the original paywall, you said, so right now, without the toggle on, you're saving 30% off of the monthly plan by doing the yearly. But then if you offer a free trial, what would the discount be in that case?
On original paywall, nothing. You just let users go. You can experiment with it. It's also an option. We do that. In this specific paywall example, the price doesn't change. If there are some users who just want to buy without a trial, you just let them do it. But like in this particular example that I have on the left-hand side, the main paywall, the price doesn't change. It's just allowing users to, if you want to buy without it, you are on a control on how you want to make your payment decision. People want to be in a control of how they want to spend their money or how they want to buy things, right? And we're giving you a choice. Do you want with a free trial or you don't want? Like you decide. And you will see kind of some users who go without a trial. But you can, it's the same way as in transaction abandonment, you can experiment by trying to change the price based on users will go with a free trial or they will not go with a free trial.
How do you decide the pricing for these things? Like, this is $35 a year and $10.99 a month. Is that standard, or do you do any?
No,
probably depends on the app and the industry, but what's the range usually?
Well, there is no right and wrong way. I mean, no, there are many wrong ways to do it, but there is no single right way to do this. The common way is just to look at your competitors. One of the most common ways, you look what your competitors are charging and you put the same price. This is how a lot of apps are doing it. Another thing, if you are for example, doing a lot of paid UA stuff, and you already have some sort of data on what your CAC look like, what's your ROAS, etc., you can come up with a price point where you are ROAS positive. Like if you keep your kind of a conversion rate stable, and this is the price you need to sell your product to be able to be ROAS positive or get a payback period within a month or so. That's one way to do it. Another way is just if you have a product that has a lot of AI related costs, like on scanning, etc., you need to kind of estimate how much it costs you to operate this product for a single user and try to add an additional kind of price to it that you believe this is a perceived value of my product. For example, my cost per user is, let's say, it's $20 per year, and I believe there's another a 20% of perceived value. You add it to that, and okay, my product's going to be a $40 per year. You can do all sort of price sensitivity analysis. There are way many. One of them is called the price sensitivity meter, when you ask users a bunch of questions and their price preferences, and you do some sort of analysis to understand what is the right place or what is the right price, etc. If you're just getting started, you don't really need to do that. The best way is to just get some sense, right? Just see what your competitors are pricing. What are your costs? What is your UA costs? Just take everything into account. Try to come up with a price that works the best. That's gonna help you to make money. You are able to pay your bills. You are ROAS positive on your kind of ads campaigns. When you get the point, then you can start doing price tests.
Do you see any drawbacks to this? Do you get more transaction abandons? Once people hit that, redeem 3 days for $0, the Apple native card comes up and then it says, free trial for 3 days, then $29.99 a year, are people like, oh shoot, I didn't realize that it was going to be an actual subscription after, and then you're getting a higher transaction abandon?
You might get some like a 10% more transaction abandonment, but again, it's a chance to convert more users on transaction abandonment, because transaction abandonment paywalls usually also have a good kind of conversion rate. So the only drawback is like if you have a low trial to paid conversion rate product, you might see an increase of refunds or overall drop in your install to paid conversion rate. So in any ways, you gotta test it. But if you have a strong trial to paid conversion rate, let's say above like a 30%, I don't think it is going to harm you very significantly. You'll see kind of good improvement by kind of renaming your payment cards like this or using this strategy.
So all of these you're mentioning, like A/B tests and experiments, are all of these paywalls in Superwall?
Yeah, all of this is just so are built on Superwall and not living right now on Superwall.
You also mentioned paywall placements. So most people think of paywall as something that you put right after the onboarding, but you're saying that you can offer it after each scan or after each like certain user action. What's the best practice on that? Are you just supposed to put it like basically everywhere?
There are like a few very important placements. I mean, transaction abandonment itself is a placement, but then there are some other things that are like a very important and high impact. The one is on session start, like showing a paywall on every session start, at least like once per day. If users use your app to do some sort of action, like take notes, scan products, you can show them once every X times they do an action. If you have a freemium version of the app and you give away like let's say 5 scans for free, you can remind them, hey, you're almost out of your scans on your paywall. Hey, subscribe to keep unlimited scans.
What are some of the like quick wins that people can get if they've just launched and they're getting traction and they just want to do a couple of first experiments?
Definitely A/B tests around like multi-step paywalls. That's kind of a very good kind of leverage you could have. If you don't have transaction abandonment paywall in place, put it there. If you don't have a session start paywall, put a session start paywall. You don't need to experiment. You just need to build your foundation that you can experiment later. Make sure you cover every possible placement. You don't leave any kind of a money in the table by not having some sort of like a placement. You cover all of this and then think about experimentation.
Great. This was really educational. I learned a ton about paywalls.
Nice.
Is there anything else that you wanted to cover here?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. Nice. Something you might not know, most of the founders I cover on this podcast are hanging out right now in the Consumer Club Discord, sharing with each other what's working now for consumer apps. So you can apply to join Consumer Club if that sounds interesting to you. And this is the Superwall podcast. Of course, you got to check out superwall.com. We have more videos on the channel, so dig into those to learn from app founders who are willing to share super tactical stuff about app growth.